Marina.
Hi Atra.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What about you?
Fine, thank you very much. So, to be honest, I want to ask you something about your last week. How was your week?
It was a very hard week actually. I faced lots of strange questions and I had lots of lessons. Yeah.
What kind of question you made?
Lots of my students ask how they can improve their English. When they're not at school.
Yes.
As you know, we work at school textbooks, we did activities, we play games, but they're wondering what they can do when they're not at school.
Okay, to improve their English.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course, it's a really common question. That most of my students also ask me that how can we improve, how can we advance, how can we be fluent, or how can we talk as a native speaker? I think it's a really common question. And I tried to write some tips for myself, to be honest. I thought about it a lot and I tried just to use my experience and the things that I thought that should be useful for improving. I gathered some and I know that you've done already. So if you're in, we can start with the first thing and the first thing that you've written.
Okay, sure. So the first important thing to set a goal and a clear deadline, I think, because when you have a goal, you're trying to reach it. Some of my students, for example, they want to understand the movies, songs, and it's a goal for them to understand it. So they are trying, they are really trying to translate it and to understand. They're working on that. So to set the goal, I think, is the most important thing.
Exactly. It's my first tip, as you mentioned, is about the goal. There's so many reasons that you're going to start to learn. I myself, my reason was maybe the songs and my favorite singer, or maybe when another person is going to be studying abroad. There's so many reasons that should be really good for you. And of course, when you have a goal, it means that you have just limit time into time. It means that you have deadline. So you can just set a time, just make some schedule for yourself, and after that you can reach your goal.
Exactly.
And that's good. But let me talk about my first tip. Of course, my first tip was a goal. Let's go for the second, as good to mention. I think that we can make English as our lifestyle. We can make it as part of our life. We can live with English. I think. For example, I think that just listen to something, just try to hear something, even if you are not listening to something, you can hear it. Just a song, in a movie, when you're on your way, you're in your car, just you can play something which is in English, because it should be really helpful for you, for just your English knowledge, even if unintentionally you're gonna get improve it this way. But do you have an opinion about this? How can we make it as a part of our life?
Yeah, of course. Actually, I think we should fall in love whatever we do. We should fall in love with it. And even when we learn the English, when we learn the any language, we should fall in love with first, and then
fall in love with the person. That is really good.
Of course you can, but then fall in love with movies or the songs that will inspire you to learn something new.
Yeah, nowadays, especially the social media is really good because there are so many bloggers and also some movies of singers. I do remember one of my students, her name is Berwan. She's really interested in One Direction. And just because of One Direction, she is good in English because she is in love with that group, and especially one of that guy who is just singing there, not really know them, but she's really good in English because she's in love with him. And also, falling in love is the best way. If you're single, we can.
Actually,
I have a suggestion. If you're single, you can find the foreigner.
Exactly. Actually, I have students from the middle school, as we said, fall in love. They fall in love with the animations. Even they're using the jokes from the animation, and it's really fun for them to learn. And that keeps them to.
Of course, it depends on the character. If, for example, you're interested in movies, songs, bloggers, these are the things that I do remember. You can fall in love with them, and it should be a serious way to improve your knowledge. So,
what about other tips?
Okay, other tips. Let me take a look at my notes. The second thing that I think it should be good, and I've mentioned about it in my notes, is It reduces curve from, just for example, from the thing that they do not understand in movies or in books, I don't know, in songs. They think that they need to know all the words when they're listening. I myself, when I watch something, even in my mother tongue, I do understand that. Come on, I do not know some words they went because there are so many words. Just there is no force to understand whole things, but just when I watch something, sometimes I'm going to search on the internet. But on the other hand, the thing that I wanted to mention is about that when you're going to watch some movies, I don't know, read some books, there is no force to know all words. If you try to concentrate, if you try to understand the whole story of the thing that you're listening or watching, it should be really good for you. And you're gonna get the goal of that thing that you are listening or what. And of course, there are so many examples that when my students, when they're watching some YouTube videos, today we had a recording from making the caramel macchiato. But before that, we tried to watch something from YouTube, and they add something, and just the girl who was teaching was, of course, speaking English, and they were really anxious. That teacher, we don't understand the thing that they say. After just 1 or 2 minutes, just by watching and by hearing, they try to match exactly the words that they're here together, and by just knowing the whole story, they could understand, they could guess the words that they've heard. What about you? Do you have any example for this that you can share with us?
I think because this is a really common question. Like when I have lessons, like the students trying to translate like word by word, and in that time they are really missing the meaning. Actually, last week my student had a podcast project, and they had a podcast with a dentist, and they really wondered like, oh teacher, how, like what if we couldn't understand the whole sentence? I mean like each word, so how we could reply. And you know, when they started podcast, I could understand that they couldn't understand some of the words, but they were patient and they listened the whole sentence, and at the end they grabbed the meaning actually. I know that they skipped some words that they didn't understand, but they grabbed it.
Yeah, of course, about the story.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. So no need to worry about if you don't understand like every word.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm finding. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure that you have another tips. Let me know what else.
Another one, it's like learning the correct pronunciation right away in that time. You know, I had an experience. Yeah, I had an experience like when I learned the new languages. Like I practiced it in that time. I check it with dictionaries. I wrote the whole page. And for example, in English, we some nationalities, they're not familiar with sound, right? Some these sounds, so they can't pronounce it. So they should listen, and you should talk by your own. You should listen your voice. You should practice it. You should check it. If it's correct, you should check it with native speakers, or like even the karaoke helps. When you listen and you are imitating to say it, and that's the best way to practice, and that's the best way to improve your pronunciation and your accuracy.
Yeah, of course. The pronunciation is really kind of conundrum in just most nationalities, because they're, as you mentioned, they're not really familiar with the most sounds. But try to pronounce it should be a really good way, as you mentioned about the karaoke, and talk to yourself. I do remember when I wanted to learn a new language, I do remember exactly that I tried to tell the word's name, I tried to talk to myself, and sometimes if I wanted to be sure that if I pronounced it correct or not, I tried to just read it aloud with my Siri, with my, nowadays they're really common, this kind of things. My iPhone is Siri, but I'm not really sure about the other phones.
Even you can check.
Yeah, of course. It's got some kind of dictionary. There's so many things that you can read it aloud, and you're gonna check it for you. I try to do this for every language. I think it should be really useful. not even in English, but also in so many other languages. I tried it a lot. Or sometimes, for example, when I was driving, I don't remember it exactly clearly, when I was driving, just when I saw something, when I see the traffic light, I tried to read it aloud. I tried to say it loudly, just to hear it, because saying and hearing is really good. And sometimes I try to record myself.
Oh, that's
I don't know if I have any experience about it, especially it was for my IELTS test. I try for the speaking part, I try to record myself because I think that we ourselves should be a real judge. We can judge our grammar, we can judge our pronunciation, and you can understand that if it is the similar word that you've heard with the real one or not, the thing that you are pronouncing and the thing that you've heard. But it should be really good. I don't know. Have you ever done this?
Yeah.
Have you tried to talk to yourself?
Talking
to yourself.
Yeah, when I was a kid, as I gave you an example, I worked with dictionaries all the time, and whatever, think, for example, word think, I used to say maybe 50 times, think, I repeat it many times, and that helps me actually, for accuracy, for fluency.
I think that even if we can't pronounce the word, pronounce some word that they have some special pronunciation, even if we can't pronounce them, we would not give up.
Yeah.
Some guys say, okay, if I can't say that thing, and I'm going to say thing, so I do not have that much confidence, so I will give up, and they don't want to continue learning English. It happens. Maybe there are so many reasons that really some guys can't pronounce it. That there are so many different sounds and so many different languages, and it's impossible for some of them to pronounce them, because after just a specific age, it should be kind of difficult to pronounce some sounds, vowels, and words, I think.
So they shouldn't hesitate, and the confidence again. When it comes to the language, every time you need a confidence. Confidence is
It happens for most of my students. They're not really confident to talk about the thing that they learn. For example, today we were recording, exactly, it's a really good example for today. Today we were recording, but they were shy, they were ashamed of camera. Not even camera, when I'm talking, just start like that. Teacher, if I say it wrong, what should I do? Teacher, if I don't know the exact thing, what should I do? I don't want to talk because I'm not really sure about the thing that I'm going to say. Come on, keep calm. Because no one is perfect in nothing, but you can be.
And as you said all the time, practice
makes perfect, of course.
Exactly.
But they need to practice and try to be confident, and they need to talk, because if you talk, you're going to understand your mistakes, you're going to understand the correct way, you're going to find your weak point and strong point, I think.
Exactly, right.
Yeah, that's it. What else? Do you have another thing?
Yeah, I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
Well, I want to say something, because I think it's really important. I have so many things here. It's about the translation. I think that you are in the same opinion with me. I'm not sure, of course. I will ask you. But I faced with so many different nationalities that they're gonna translate something. Translate sentences from their own languages.
And this is the common actually, and I think it's a very famous problem. Because they are translated word by word, and in that time you're losing the meaning.
Because for example, in English,
you should try to think in English.
Yeah, exactly. Because, for example, in so many languages, that I know them, some of them, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna put the verbs at the end of the sentences, okay? And the place and the position of the subject, object, pronoun, verb, they're really different. But when they're going to translate it one, come on, it's really weird. Just first they're gonna put coffee, at the end they're gonna put the drink. It's coffee drink. It's really weird. But they need to know that there is no need to know really complex grammar tenses. They need just to know the basic structure, the present simple, but try to use it in a correct way, and try to not to follow the mother tongue, the language that they speak. Just try to think English. It's kind of difficult and unfamiliar, but it's easy to think English.
Exactly. And the thing is that some of the students are, they're trying to memorize word by word, and that's also a common mistake, as you know. So instead of trying to memorize it, you should make a sentence first, like a phrases. So if you learn in that way, you will learn language more. I would say you will learn language more in an effective way. Yeah.
Because there's so many people, they know words, some of them they know grammar, and it's that you're perfect in grammar because they've learned grammar in their mother tongue.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you have so many people who they think that we know 504 books word. Come on. So what can you do with 504 words? You need to use words in a grammar together, and just in that case you can speak English. And you need to enjoy, I think, from the thing that you say. And the adjectives that I've mentioned here in my notes. Be confident, be brave, do not scare.
Exactly. That's our message actually.
Yeah.
Say,
exactly. Be confident, be brave, enjoy from your speaking, and do not give up, please.
Yeah. And good luck in your journey, guys.
Yeah. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Take
Bye.
care.